Hello everyone! Goodbye 20s, hello 30s. Today's topic for you all viewers and watchers is change. I want you to be bold and change. Why? Well, changing is really important. And if you want to know why, I want you to stop for a second and think back to high school. When you got your yearbook, the big challenge and excitement of that graduation week or the end of the school year week was getting as many signatures as possible, right? And most of your friends wrote the world's worst advice. I was reminded of this terrible advice by Bob Goff, an author who writes amazing books. I truly talk him up because he's such a fabulous writer, has a great podcast, but the book I'm referring to in this situation is Dream Big. The worst advice he got was never change, written in his yearbook hundreds of times by lots of close friends, and it sounds good in the moment, but it doesn't allow you to grow or to change. Now, what is significant with changing, because in high school you were most popular, or you were the biggest athlete, or you are going to be the next president. All of these awarded, recognized great qualities, right? But as a now 30-year-old, our lives have shifted and changed in so many ways. Completely out of our control, right? Because I never planned to have cancer. Who would? But what never change doesn't help us to grow in our attitude, grow in our knowledge, or grow in our behaviors and how this impacts us on a day-to-day basis. Those things matter and impact you and move you forward into the direction you want to go. Now, my word for the year, you don't necessarily need to set a word for the year, but that's how I, somebody who is goal-oriented, function. My word is grow. Now, how am I planning to grow this year? Well, I can't regrow brain that has been removed in my head, but what I can grow is the knowledge that is in there. Something I want to focus on growing or changing is being highly educated. I'm not going back to school or getting new certifications because financially that does not work for us. But what I am going to do is I'm going to continue to learn. There are resources out there that are free. If you have an iPhone or a Samsung phone, any type of phone with the internet, you've got plenty of access to more information. If you've got a laptop, an iPad, more information. So you can read and learn and see and grow through videos, through books, through podcasts, you name it. Tons of ways to grow and change. Also, how that will impact me, because when I change, that impacts those around me. It'll impact how I interact with those I care about. Whether you're a friend, you're in a relationship with me, or you are my family member, right? I'm going to be treating you differently, talking about topics differently, feeling informed, and potentially helping by doing so. Now, that doesn't mean you must go do this to change or grow. This is just one example of how I plan to change and not #never change like they put in my yearbook. Now, also, what I have to additionally think about with changing is how this impacts my behaviors. When I'm knowing more and I'm growing in this way, I'm also now feeling more confident. Me walking around feeling educated and knowledgeable helps me to feel more confident in my conversations, leading with information. It also helps me to be in a more positive mood that also impacts how I treat others around me. For example, going to the grocery store to pick up a bunch of stuff, you might smile through your mask to the best of your ability or say hello to a complete stranger versus marching in there grumpy and getting what you need and leave, right? So those little gestures will impact those around me. So The way we are changing impacts our attitude, it impacts our behavior, and it impacts our direction in the path that we go moving forward. Instead of never changing, I'm doing this for hashtag never change, advice I'm giving will also impact if we ever achieve our goals or not. If you feel lost or confused and you don't have a goal or a purpose, you're wrong. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. You might not know what that is yet. The only way you're going to get closer to determining what that is by changing something, anything. I encourage you to think long and hard about how, what, where, and why should I change? How can I change? And consider that for the rest of 2021. 2020 was a hard year, and maybe it changed you without your control, but put yourself back in a position where you have control and you can only move forward in the right direction. So remember, the worst advice is never change. Thank you, Bob Goff, for that. You all change, and let me know if you need any guidance, ideas, you want to brainstorm. It's what I'm here for. We're going to change together. We're going to take on this year and be a completely better version of ourselves tomorrow based on changing today.